Welcome all, Tony Bergström at IT Advisory. In today's webinar, we will give you a presentation and demonstration of the new carbon footprint model for the Teamcenter Product Cost Management portfolio. We have invited Eduardo Salva, that is the EMEA portfolio developer at Siemens. Eduardo will do the presentation and demonstration of this brand new model that was released December last year. I will not do any long introduction, so therefore I would like to hand over directly to you, Eduardo.
Thank you, Tony, very much. So welcome everyone. My name is Eduardo Salva. I'm responsible since 6 years ago for the solution Teamcenter Product Cost Management within Siemens at EMEA level. Yeah, I'm personally located in Spain. Some of you might know me from past meetings, from the previous Nordex meetings that we hosted in the past. So now I'm more focused on the new capabilities of TCPCM, and yeah, any questions regarding what I will present today, feel free to ask me. Yeah, yeah, I will keep it short so I can go through the demonstration today. I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, feel free to ask me questions. Whichever those are at the end of the session or during the session. Yeah, as Tony mentioned, you can write them during in the Q&A section. Yeah. Okay, so for the agenda today, we've done the introduction already. So we will go to see the cost engineering and how it can impact what's the impact on the environment, on the CO2 footprint environment. Yeah, I will go directly to the demonstration. I will then recall what are the benefits and the summary. Yeah. So quick intro is the challenges that well, most of you are aware. Yeah, how the CO2 impacts to the global warming. Yeah, this we already know, and since recent years or not very long ago, the EU has the European Commission has stated that they will do overcharges due to the large CO2 emissions by 2030. Yeah, for this, you all as cost engineers or part of the design engineering or the engineering department in your companies will have a huge impact for the CO2 emissions that for the products you will develop in the future. Yeah, in the next 10 years. So for this, TCPCM will help you to understand the impact of your design into the climate change. Yeah, it will increase or you will be able to increase your supply chain's awareness on the CO2 emissions. Yeah, not only for the products you design, also for the products you buy. Yeah, so this will increase the transparency of the carbon footprint. Yeah, on the purchase parts, and it will help your company to meet your CO2 targets. Yeah, in case if you don't have them today, you will have them for sure in the near future. Yeah, for sure you will have some compliant departments that will have CO2 regulations, but normally those products are focused after the part is designed, and here TCPCM will help you to control those CO2 emissions before or during the development phase. Yeah, at very early stages. Yeah, and I will show in the demonstration how you do that. Okay, so the next step is that, okay, traditionally TCPCM, as the name states, yeah, product cost management, is to help cost engineers to calculate products they purchase, products they manufacture, and tools and controlling project profitability, and you do all that cost analysis in order to optimize the products, to do the benchmark calculations, to do tool costings structures, to study the supply chain cost structures. Yeah, all that is clear, but now we added a new leg, This is the environmental footprint, yeah, focusing on the CO2 emission factors, optimizing the environmental factors, etc. And this will be a trade-off where you will be able to make analysis, say, okay, if I choose another substance, it will be more expensive, but it will be more environmental friendly. If I choose a smaller machine or a bigger machine, it will have a CO2 impact. Then I will need to reduce the cavities. It will be cheaper, more expensive, or it will the impact in the costing will be really nothing, but the CO2 impact will be huge. Yeah, you will have this trade-off to take care of in the next few years, and to have this in an integrated view, it will be highly beneficial. Yeah, and today I will explain how you do this. Yeah, and obviously we have the digital twin of cost. The digital twin is the twin of what it will happen for sure. At least you want to digitalize and see what will be the real impact of your cost analysis in the real production. Yeah, and now we will be able to talk about the digital twin of carbon footprint emissions. Yeah, so imagine a product that it will be designed, it will be planned, it will be engineered, it will be then go to production and aftermarket. Yeah, our product TCPCM originally is focused during the early phases of the product. Yeah, which is used to do costing, marked here in this color, and since very recently, actually since last 28th of December, we are able to make our footprint analysis. Yeah, and this is with our Teamcenter Product Cost Management tool, yeah, which can use two methodologies. I guess most of you have seen the webinar. Now we don't do only bottom up, we do also top down. Using statistical formulas, we can predict prices of future products only with 5 or 6 parameters. Yeah, so you don't need to do a detailed calculation. And then once the product is being in production, now the ERP enterprise resource planning solution normally takes care. Yeah, and this is also a solution, TCPCM, that is integrated with PLM and ERPs and BIs. Yeah, so that this allows the digital twin to have mirror data set. Yeah, what we call, okay, you will start with a BOM or a material or a BOP or for similar product you've done, or the cost rates of your internal plants. All this data set can be integrated to PCM so that you don't use only the reference data that we deliver. Yeah, you can use it as a platform with your connected data to have a real mirrored or digital twin cost analysis and CO2 analysis. Yeah. So how does it work? So I put here only one more slide on the calculation approach and how you can combine should cost and CO2 footprint calculation. So first, you define the scope of your product. Yeah, you analyze the supplier, you analyze the environmental footprint, and then you gather the factors. Yeah, if you have a product data, how much it weight, yeah, what type of substance, yeah, and how will you process it? Yeah, as simple as that. And maybe you have 1 or 2 ways how to produce it, but this is off the record now. Yeah, and then link to databases. Yeah, so you can have a pre-configured reference data available in TCPCM, or you can link your ERP data. Yeah, and this is how you can do. Some people of you heard value engineering. What is that? That means that simply where the value engineering is not only calculating cost, but is also making decisions of, okay, should I produce it this way? Should I produce it that other way? Yeah, for example, laser cutting versus stamping, or could I use my own plant data? Is it cheaper for me to make or buy? All these value decisions will have an impact. Yeah, and now we will put one more dimension on the CO2. So which country is the cleanest to produce? Which substance should I use to produce? Yeah, so all this is in combination of this analysis during your during your development phase. Yeah, and then you carry on with the calculation. Yeah, which this detailed calculation and should cost and CO2 emissions. Yeah, where you have the results ABC with full cost transparency, with the foundation footprint, with the granular cost roll up. Yeah, and also you will have the CO2 analysis. Yeah, which you can do along the value chain, on your parts, on the purchase parts, on the substance, on the machines you used in order to do the roll up as well. Yeah, and then this is an iterative process. So once you are not convinced, maybe you want to evaluate back or reuse the calculation for a similar product. Yeah, so that you're reusing this calculation. Yeah, this is what it differs us with other solutions in the market, that we can reuse the calculations. Yeah, and this makes you to generate faster cost and CO2 footprint optimization. Yeah, so now we will jump to the demonstration. I will show you how we do step by step. So let's imagine we will do a handrail. Yeah, so we will produce handrails today. Okay, and this is the product overview. Yeah, imagine you will design a similar, or this handrail itself. It depends if you're a producer or a supplier. Yeah, then you receive this design, or you wait for your design team to do this, or even you can start cost calculations without CAD data. Yeah, this is for you to get a representation what we will cost today. Yeah, most of you that are using TCPCM today don't even have CAD data. They start with a 2D drawing or whatever. Yeah, and then what we will do, I will show you the latest and greatest 9.2 version. Yeah, is we will focus not in the net sales price of the product, which is originally what we do. Yeah, for a full BOM, we will start with the substance and purchase parts video. And this demo, we will show the carbon footprint of substance and the CO2 footprint of the purchase parts. Yeah, and also we will be able to see the CO2 footprint roll up in parallel of the net sales price. Yeah, so there are like two calculation engines in parallel. Yeah, okay. So the CO2 calculation demo will start now as we speak. This is the latest version 9.2 release. So you see here we have a BOM, we have like the substance pictures, we have the batteries, and here are some quantities. And as you can see, some parts are calculated with a standard price. So this price and CO2 footprints are looked up from the ERP. These other parts can be calculated with NLPP formulas. Yeah, these others are reused purchase parts from previous projects, and this is a purchase component. Yeah, should cost calculation. So you can have everything in a BOM. And now what I will do is I will just duplicate this to 2. So you can see the factors have changed. Yeah, I reduce it to 1. So now I start so that you can see it's a roll-up BOM. Yeah, let's make a more complex change. Now I will decide to make this product not in France, but in Spain. Yeah, where I'm located, by the way. So I click Spain, and automatically my CO2 footprint is reduced a little bit because it's only weighing 80 grams. Yeah, and I decide perhaps, oh, well, let's do a polypropylene. Yeah, let's choose a polypropylene instead of ABS. What would be the impact of this part? Yeah, oh, it's been reduced quite a lot. Now I have 10 grams less of footprint. If I change the region or the substance or the amount of purchase parts, now you can see it's a simple roll-up. This is the new BOM editor from the latest release. Yeah, is obviously a new nice enhancements that we are planning together with the CO2 engine. Yeah. For the next video, we will do the manufacturing for CO2. Okay, the CO2 we will calculate the CO2 footprint of the machine. Yeah, so now we will show the BOP not only the BOM, so the manufacturing BOM or the bill of process, yeah, where you have the same view. Okay, in this case, instead of the BOM editor, we will use the quick editor. Okay.
Eduardo, before you continue, I just want to say that if you have any questions during the presentation, please use the Q&A button in the bottom of the window for Zoom. So we will take care of your questions because we have not, we will not use the raise hand or chat functionality in this webinar. So just a reminder to use the Q&A. Please continue, Eduardo. If you have any questions, just type them in.
Thank you, Tony. Really nice. So let's continue with the CO2 footprint of the machine. So here, as you can see, I've done my own BOM in the quick editor. You can do the complete BOM, where you can use it for single parts or full parts in case you want this Excel grid, yeah, available. So you can add your own columns, delete them. You can put any columns you want. I just simplified the view here for this demonstration, where I put here the manufacturing step and the machine skilled worker, some cycle time. Yeah. So what I will show here is the in this video. So we have here this Victory 2050 machine with this carbon footprint. Yeah. And now what I will say, okay, I will change back to France, yeah, the region. And what I expect is that France has a different energy CO2 factor, yeah, updating the carbon footprint. Yeah, now you see the difference in price is 1%. And now we will open the machine here by double click and say, okay, do I really need a 2600 ton machine? Can I change it for a smaller one and put less cavities? Yeah, let's imagine this use case. Really simplistic, yeah. And then I say, okay, let's choose 1100 ton, okay. And now you can see from 11 kilo CO2 emission per piece, now is 10 kilos CO2, even using the same factor, yeah. Now you can see the impact of the CO2. Maybe you want to use a smaller one, even though the cavities are reduced, or yeah, or the different machine, it will be different. Yeah. So now what I will show in the next level, as most of you are not using the quick editor or the BOM editor, I will do in the next demo, that show you at the part level, yeah, at the tabular view. This is an enhancement from the latest versions, yeah, 8.5 and onwards. The quick editor and 9.2, the BOM editor. But now here I will show the traditional view so that you see where is all the data in the calculation. Yeah.
Eduardo,
So
before you start,
sure.
we have some questions that we can answer. We
yeah,
have got
go ahead.
we got a couple of questions. If this CO2 module could be used on which version, from which version, and it's from the version 9.2. Then so that's the minimum of the latest version of TCP/CM that you need to have. Also question, where do we get this CO2 information? Siemens have working with a couple of third parties companies to get this information and also to sign agreements. So we always have the latest and greatest of this CO2 information. Nothing is 100% formalized yet, but it will be very soon finalized an agreement with one or several suppliers, but nothing ready yet. And so yes, and this webinar and slides will be available on our website, etadvisory.se, or on the YouTube channel, ET Advisory. So you can find both slides and this presentation, this webinar, so you can So it will be on demand webinar going forward. So I think that's cover the most questions. The data will be, the CO2 data will not be, will be on the database level, not on the PC or user level. So yeah, I think then I answered the most questions. So
Thanks, Don.
please continue.
I couldn't do it better. So yeah, as mentioned, I will finalize the demo on the pad level path, yeah, so that you will also see some enhancements that we have done in 9.2. Yeah, so here we have the path tab, yeah, where you link your geometry data, and you can see here the picture. We simplified also here is where you will find the CO2 roll-up, yeah, as you could see in the footprint. And here are the cost factors view. And you can see we have put the SIF model data now is linked to master data, yeah, where before it was only to the calculation. So now this is linked to master data. So when you change country, for example, to Mexico, you should get different production weeks per year, yeah, as they have less holidays, for example, than other countries. So this SIF model is now changing, yeah, due to the countries. And you can see here the carbon footprint line, yeah, according to the methodology. And if we go to the material tab, here you see on the right side the carbon footprint emission factors for the material and purchase components. And if we go to the manufacturing step and you open the machine, for example, you will see here in the calculation the CO2 carbon footprint rate based on the energy consumption. Yeah, so this is what we have released now in 9.2. Okay, so that you will be able to see in the calculation result page the carbon footprint summary for the raw material, purchase, and machine. Yeah, this will keep improving, and we will add extra factors in every release. Yeah, and just to let you know, this is at the part level. Yeah, and obviously we're happy to hear your suggestion needs on the market, but this is the overview of the demonstration of the CO2 print, yeah, factors. Okay, just to give you some teasers and what we are working now at Siemens level, yeah, basically what we have is this information flow, yeah, from the design team on the CAD tools, yeah, from the engineering team, from the PLM tools. We're able to connect this data now to PCM using the current APIs, yeah, this information flow is currently available. Now we are able to import BOMs or BOPs, yeah, with the CAD data. We will also be able to export all this to business intelligence, yeah, and or into the supplier cost breakdown formats, yeah. And all this is also linked with the ERP finance. So maybe you have CO2 factors already in your legacy systems. Therefore, you feel free to use our APIs or input filters to import this data for you to reuse during the development phase. Yeah. So this is the real advantage of TCPCM, is that we are open to the external sources. Yeah. So this is the key message, that we are now a cost and CO2 simulator tool, yeah, and real beneficial, because the digital twin will not be possible without these connections and outputs. Yeah, so this is the real to show you the process. Okay, so then the benefits, yeah, this is standard. Obviously, most of you in this webinar are using this tool today, which can obtain up to 16-20% of cost reduction within the early development phase. Yeah, applying the best substance, applying the best manufacturing. Yeah, doing some cost engineering and value engineering exercises, reduce cost for purchase parts, And also you are able to work smarter, which you will be able to reduce the quotation preparation time in case you want to use this to quote to customers. Yeah, this will help you to reuse calculations, therefore work faster, and you will reduce the complexity, increasing the visibility not only on product but also on profitability and project and profitability level. And now we can add the reduce the CO2 footprint, yeah, as one of the main tasks that you've done. Yeah, so this, as long as you are doing more and more analysis, your knowledge sharing will increase. Worth to reminder, yeah, when you do a cost calculation in PCM, the benefit is that 5 years later, a peer from you or that will be in your position in 10 years will be able to catch up such calculation and reuse it. Yeah, so all this is really important for the company, yeah, more than you think. So this is the real good impact that you can make to change the fact of global warming, yeah, the environmental impact and cost reduction. So it will be a polyvalent goal, yeah. Obviously, we have some customers within ET Advisory and Siemens that are working within the solution today. Worth to mention some global customers as well, away from the Nordics, is like American Axle, which is using the system to quote, yeah, and also to reduce cost at early stages by choosing the right process, by choosing the strategical paths, yeah, add value to those paths. Brose and Manhummel, which are using it for purchase parts, and also Brose is using for both purchase and manufacturing parts. Yeah, so this is the overview I wanted to give. Yeah, most importantly, we are the last message. Yeah, and this is the summary. And with this, I close. If you are using the combination, yeah, product, tooling, and supplier profitability calculation, we are now growing into an enterprise cost management platform. Yeah, of course, we were born in the product costing level at early stages. Yeah, but since we have been emerged within Siemens, we are now able to realize savings with this new NLPP approach, reusing your historical data so that you can do calculations in one click. Yeah, battling and for if you have huge bombs and you are not able to do the costing of the full bomb with the bottom-up approach, obviously NLPP helps. Yeah. Also, we are focusing a lot to ease the bottom-up calculation by, as you can see with the BOM editor, by easing the number of clicks, reducing the number of clicks, putting a nice visualization system. Yeah, we will soon jump to, soon we will have our first footprint in SaaS. Yeah, not hopefully available end of the year for tool costing. Yeah, which also includes the 3D analysis. Also, you can make a change with the CO2 footprint, as we mentioned today, and you can do simulation in the project profitability analysis of your own or of your suppliers. Yeah, so this is a great tool that can be used for different scenarios, different use cases. Yeah, so I'm quite happy then to announce that ET Advisory, and one of the questions was about where this webinar will be located. Yeah, we posted here the link, and the CO2 webinar will be one of these boxes in the future. Yeah, and you will be able to see this recording as many times as you need for a peer or for a manager or for one of your employees that you will think that this is important for their day-to-day business, yeah, to make an impact in the world. And then, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much. And
thank you very much, Eduardo, once again for a great presentation. I'm very excited to see that we have a lot of questions coming up here, Eduardo. So hang on. Here is one question. In case of internal production, Is there any possibility to set by yourself some CO2 data in order to make some simulations?
Yes, indeed. This is exactly the TCPCM, what it is used for. So we will provide some master data, yeah, but this is only reference, yeah, from third data providers. But you also will be able to have this module without the master data, yeah. So this is a modular solution. That means that most of our customers are putting their CO2 factors in the tool. Yeah, as when you implement this tool in your company, this is an executable in your computers. Therefore, we will not have access anymore to this database, and we will put. You can feel free to put your CO2 factors for your own calculations. Yeah, and regarding the purchase parts, you can ask the supplier for the CO2 footprint analysis by themselves. Yeah. So that you can enter this in the master data for future reuse. Yeah.
Yeah, and we have a similar question for electronic components. If it reflects the assembly process of the electronic device, can you handle CO2 footprint on electronic components like purchase parts from semiconductor, etc.? And I think
right.
Yeah.
So this data, I'm afraid I will have to take that question with me because I don't really know for the purchase components of the electronics. At the moment, we are aware that it's a data input you can put in master data or in the calculation itself. But currently, we are focusing more on the on the purchase components and on the substances, machine consumptions, and there will be future developments, and there will be future master data. As currently we're negotiating, as you mentioned, with the third data providers. We don't know, or I don't know the details of the CO2 emission factors for available.
But what we could say is that the release of this CO2 module have been a tremendous pressure from the market on Siemens to do this, and everything is. I mean, we will continue to develop this module, of course, going forward. So you will see an evaluation of this model in very quick in terms of reference data and new functionality. So when I have another good question from one of the attendees. When a new machine is created, are there some reference tables to help setting the machine carbon footprint? I think that's good.
The machine carbon footprint is calculated based on the energy consumption of the machine. Therefore, we are not delivering carbon footprint emissions per machine. No, it's of the energy of the country. So therefore, the same machine can have different carbon footprint emissions in France versus Sweden. It will depend on the nuclear power used by the country at that year and the wind power, etc. So that data we will receive and we will store in master data. So what you need to know is the energy consumption of the machine, how much power used, and the effectiveness. I think is a percentage of the machine using that power. So if it's a mix of energy or water or other consumables, we can study that. So this is master data level, detail level that we will put for you to put. Advice is copy a similar machine.
Another very good question is about the full value chain. What are the CO2 emission due to transportation of goods? And I think that's a very good question because that impact the total CO2 emission footprint of a product. So
yeah, indeed. So this will come, in the next coming months. We have already some beta working on the transport logistics, but we needed to discover the footprint emissions from trucks or from the type of transport, if it's truck, if it's a boat, if it's a etc. So train, etc. So we need to improve much better our transport logistic calculator. Yeah, and we are on it, and hopefully for the next version in this coming year, it will be available. Yeah. Friendly reminder: we do 2 versions per year, so hopefully it will come either May or November. Yeah, as we always do the releases.
Yeah. Then we have another one. Is the CO2 emission value based on worldwide common practice? And I think we have answered that. But yeah, continue, Eduardo.
Yeah. Was that a question?
Yeah, the question is the CO2 emission value based on worldwide common practice?
Worldwide common practice. Well, we are negotiating with these third-party providers where they are really, really good, well known on the legacy product level. Yeah, and they have a really strong background on the CO2 emission factors. Yeah, they have a consultancy specialized only on the data research on this per country, per energy source, per substance, etc. So with this data, we needed to do some product enhancements. This is why you can only use this in 9.2 and not before. Yeah, and is reference data. Yeah, as always, we will provide this reference data as soon as we have it, and we will need to evolve a bit more the product, but nevertheless, this product is ready if you want to use your own CO2 emission factors, and it will be ready when we receive this data in the coming months. But yeah, of course, this will be common share. Yeah, but feel free to ask your legacy system owners of the CO2 who is calculating the CO2 in your companies. I'm pretty sure you will find them, and I'm pretty sure you will find an immense amount of data that you can import to TCPCM. Yeah.
Yeah. So what we can say is that you can use the reference data CO2 emission value, or you can add your own CO2 emission values if you have something.
Correct.
Yeah. So so it's a mix of automation and manual approach here.
Exactly.
The next one is also a very good one. Is the CO2 costing included for the tooling model as well?
Not at the moment.
No.
Or not at the moment. I'm thinking now. Yeah. Not at the moment.
No. And then we have
can
one.
Be. It can be.
Here is if a supplier has his own solar panels, can the CO2 number be adjusted? And yes, of course.
Yeah.
I assume that the supplier has solar panel for the factory that.
So the energy is not. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's an energy mix. Yeah. Obviously, the CO2 factors we will provide. As you know, since version 8, we have this multidimensional master data. So whenever, if I give you a CO2 footprint of energy of 3 for France, you are able to add lines, meaning that if you choose this supplier is 2.1, if you choose the supplier other in the same region or different date, you will be able to add your own master data, not deleting the reference data. Yeah. So whenever you consume those factors in the calculation, it will pick up the right one. Yeah, for the specific supplier using solar panels. Yeah, that's the typical use case of TCPCM. Don't think that we only give you one factor per country, and that factor must be used for every machine or overhead. No, no, that won't be the case.
Exactly. So I see the most question right now is actually on how we calculate the CO2 in different manufacturing steps. So we don't have all the answers yet, but we will of course notice your questions here and come back to you during the first quarter of this year, of course. We have one here: to have this CO2 value, is use of material or equipment from TCPC needed because we have to create own data for some calculation. Yeah, that could be a case, of course.
Yes, we have customers that even if they are if they have Siemens reference data, they created their own substances, their own machines, their own structures in master data, their own classifications, in order to do their own calculations. Yeah. So and we have, in the other side, we have customers that they're relying a lot on the Siemens reference data.
Yeah.
Yeah. So either from one extreme or the other, we have both use cases. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a lot of questions.
Yeah, we have one here. You mentioned machine CO2 footprint is based on energy consumption.
Yes.
How is material consumption built up? For instance, raw material, which might also have value add included before arriving to the manufacturing.
Yeah. This is the depending on the weight consumption and the simple calculation engine on the material tab, and then the scrap. Yeah, if this was the question, or the value added into the manufacturing step. I still need to check the details because I need to take that question with me also.
Okay, I make a note this here. So I think we have covered most of them. Most everyone of the late question comes in how we get the reference data, and I think we have answered that a couple of times now. So therefore, we will close this webinar. You can go to itadvisor.se if you would like us to contact you, have a follow-up meeting on this, a more deep dive into this module. So I will end and thank you, Eduardo, for attending and doing this great presentation demonstration. And all attendees, of course, very excited to see a lot of new and our customers joining this event. So close this down and say, have a nice evening and talk to you later on.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you all.